Hello and welcome to the program Ghana Speaks. My name is Enoch Egyir. The program proudly brought to you by Hawk Investigations and WACO. And as you know, when it comes to investigations related activities or investigations related matters, there's one company that you can always fall on. You want them to do tracking, undercover, investigative work, whatever kind of work that you believe that it revolves around investigation. That is a company to fall on. Call them on 020-228-3252. That's 020-228-3252. Once you call the Hawk Investigations Agency, they will be there to assist you. So call right now as we speak. Now, those of you in the construction industry who are into building of apartment, construction of roads, schools, and so on and so forth, you need sand. People who can deliver on time. They are professionals, and their prices too are very moderate. Very, very moderate. Call WACO on 0505-714871. That's 0505-714871. Call them right now, and they will make that delivery for you. Today, we're going to be talking about Anas Arimeyao Anas, the man at the center of attraction. He's the one that we're going to be talking about today. Let's do one or two stuff. We'll be right back.
In a world where darkness rules, a world without a law, a world where truth is hidden, this is a world where we shine our light to make it better so you can sleep. We are the hunters of truth. Hawk Investigation Company. We hunt for the truth. Call us any day, anytime, and we will be there to hunt for your truth.
Welcome back. This issue about Anas Arimeyao Anas is something that has come in our way many times. We'll try our best possible today to go into the issues, try and make sense, and at the end we'll conclude in a very beautiful way so that you and I will understand each other. Let's begin with the courtroom. Anas appeared in the courtroom in the United States of America with a dark-skinned face. Yet when the same opportunity was presented to him in Ghana, he refused. Why? This was a documentary that he did. Number 12. A documentary that Anas himself did. And that was a documentary that also led to the embarrassment of Kwesi Atechi. His credibility was questioned, and it led to his resignation. A long run, Kwesi Atechi had to leave Ghana Football Association and anything relating to football for him to become a parliamentary aspirant. This was an opportunity that was presented to Anas to appear without his mask so that all matters relating to that very documentary will be dealt with. But he refused because he wanted to come under a mask. Yet when he went to the United States, he decided to go in with a dark-skinned face. Why didn't you do same the last time when that opportunity was presented to him? Is it because Kwesi Atechi didn't have that much money, or because at the time his mission with Kwesi Atechi had finished? What really was the reason why he refused? But in America, when he was called upon to appear without a mask, he had to come up with this dark-skinned face. A question that I'm still trying to make sense out of. Into no question maybe send them abenti and ankasana opui wo courtroom in America one. I wanna who was he? Abenti and ankasana opui wo courtroom one. I wanna. By Anas Arimeyao Anas, another person, because he appeared in that courtroom with a dark face. black man daki not we. But the interesting thing in the one, Anas Arumeya Anas on couple of occasions be or name at the new face about out the annual friend Anas. Maybe an video no and read that. Mama should that video no and Anka Sakede. That is him. And then we will look at this very one you see Okupo American. Watch this.
Talking about Anasis, this mask you're wearing all the time is become symbolic now in Ghana, where you find a lot of people wearing this mask and saying they are Anas. Can we see your face? Why can't we see your face?
Well,
I really want to see your face.
over the years, I've had this symbol on, and I usually don't take it out because it helps when it comes to my anonymity. Are you ready to see my face?
I'm sure we really want to see your face.
So, I'm going to do it gradually. So, this is my heart. And then I take off. I'm taking off my heart, my beads, everything. And so for those who want to see my face, this is my face.
This is Anas.
You said you wanted to see my face. So I have given you my face. So you see, you never know what you are going to find. For me, the important thing is focus. It's not about masking Anas. It's about all of us putting up.
This was an interview with Samet Dako, formerly of the BBC, Samet Dako. And this is what he said to him, that is him. The danger in what he did is that as human beings, we look alike, we resemble each other. So if this image that Anas Arumeya Anas put out there looks very much like someone, what do you think Anas has done to the person? Have you thought of it? Now, when he appeared in the courtroom in the United States of America, he came in with a dark hot face. Again, that very picture also looks very much like Daniel Dazi, formerly of Joy FM and now with the BBC. I believe so. Still, if he's still with the BBC, yes. Look at the two pictures. You see Daniel Dazi's face, and then the face that Anas, used. So now I'm confused between that fair colored or more or less like an albino image and this very dark skin. Which one of them is really Anas? Which of them is Anas Arumeya Anas? That is the question I'm asking. So if tomorrow someone should meet Daniel Dazi and decide to do him harm, what do you think you would have done? Or if someone decide to meet someone who looks very much like the image you portrayed in that courtroom, what do you think will happen to the person? Adibi wo hwa your money na ya so dey yehwe nie. Anya da ma ye bewie no ne ya sanye mepi. Ehwe image si am da chewe ya one time oside oyabino. Anya do oside oyabino. Ehwe image na anu don kado oyabino, but ehwe image why the albino face no or the thing one. Then there's this picture of him no so what's na courtroom. A dark face. Inti who is he deceiving? Again, obi a from who there undercover and put obi abohu. Picture your deadly. You be a we pose the ultra picture. Idea ben pan on amduma etra dem picture. hwɛ no kon na hade ehu the neck na hwɛ face no into them two images a call yeah them prosthetics my friend face we use movies we been we use face of in a Mission Impossible 2 and these movies were directed by John Woo and I don't know so who John Woo na John Woo ya man in the army that kind of face no we use it to me use now at this guy so that I that what one and nobody knows now that cats now actually images so I don't know what's in channel where you're black then I don't know so one bob you never nankasa but in trying your best possible to portray this whole thing out there anas no or your met no another anas no obi an hu nanim da no that my agreement on hold because obi a why you adwuma wo crusading guide gina me concord dispatch network character na one network character bi anyi be senate but out of respect for you no ntimo onyim kwa so onyi na why din but the more now at the images at the Bible to two on there awuni no we say on the nyimpa de sin yedin say it's a chebe botu the face bi about at that many mo bi hu na adwen brother ya me we kunu kwa because them abuno face here AUC at the two plus them image AUC wo offend courtroom way also bi it's na me them examples no also bi se ulo kamba na so bi ke hia da nyimpa no na ose image na e de call courtroom another image na e de call a friend BBC one. What do you think will happen to the person? Adibi wa ya you're very careful. So one friend ya wa or multi. Now let's look at this very second point. Anas, in his submission after his court, case in the states of New Jersey, he made a statement that Ghana's court failed to deliver justice in 2018. The U.S. court upheld truth. Regrettably, Ghana's justice system has not always lived up to the principles of fairness, impartiality. The Masemia Akakeno, but we good judicial service no one fear. Me pede there at what point in time na Anas realize it there yeah judicial service no sometimes no one year fair at what point in time was it the time now and now ne exposes to do judges now go fit what one court where the one we jailing one if you lose one ejuma another at the time of number 12 be another at the time now what could a terrorist no at a time na Anas Arumeyaw I realize this very truth it after plain if ya kwa bochi ekoguye ni mase it will be said let me ask you this question Mr. Arumeyaw should you have any case in Ghana are you going to send it to the same very court that you denigrated in the States, the court that you said they failed to deliver justice, the court that you said sometimes they are not fair? I'm asking you, is that a court that you're going to send your case to? These are matters that we need to critically look at and think about. I ask you again, was it not the same system that made you a lawyer? Because you're a lawyer and a journalist. Arumeyaw Anas. You're a lawyer and a journalist. And this is the same system, the system that you are condemning. That system made you a lawyer. That is why I'm calling on the judicial service to reopen every case that you worked on. Because you've raised an important point that I believe all and sundry must come together to understand that based on the point that Anas Arumeyaw Anas has raised, that our judicial service has not always been fair. In that very case, every case upon which and how do you call it? People were jailed, or people were sacked or dismissed from their, workplaces and so on and so forth because of your documentary or your exposés and so on and so forth. These cases must be relooked at again because you've raised an important point. Are you sure you'll be able to stand that kind of heat? I respect what you do. I respect it. In trying to bring people who are corrupt on their needs, shame them, name and shame, so that they will be jailed at the end. All of us believe in that principle. But it must be done correctly. So you, based on your assertion and statements, this is what you've done to the judicial service of Ghana. I'm a wababe bibi there. Ghana court the umuyo kra obano there fairness one ye fair. Obano fairness one ye fair. Anyway, anade meja ama lawyers nankasa. Inti sisi ambi so de in your case at the bokwahin. Because Ghana court in the on your fair all the time. Into courts now all the time on your fair no. In your case at the bokwana. Methodology. That is my next very point. The first undercover journalist ever in the history of this world was called Elizabeth Jane Corcoran, known to many as Nellie Bly. She was born in 1864 and died in 1922. Somewhere in 1887, she went to a mental home and gathered some facts about the mistreatment that those people were going through. She also wrote the book 72 Hours Around the World. She made a name for herself and made her family very proud. And interestingly, she comes from a very poor home. But later on, she married a rich man, was able to make an impact in the world. And after the death of the rich man, she met some kind of, weird people who collapsed the businesses of the husband. That is the picture of the woman. The first undercover. She was a woman, not a man. Now, the methodology that Anas many a time uses is quite strange. He comes to your office, puts money on the table, and at the end, he will tell you that you are corrupt. This, however, has made people to raise concerns about his methodology and his style, where he will trap you, and when you fall in that trap, at the end, he will call you corrupt. Question is, who has made him the father of all righteous, activities? Anas, some years ago, also went to a mental home. This guy himself went there and gathered facts. And that, for me, was a beautiful work. That was the Anas that I knew at the time. That was the Anas. Now, most of us knew that this was what we call pure undercover work. It was not about going there to bribe people. He went there with his cameras and so on and so forth, and was able to gather facts. In the past, he was doing some serious undercover, works. So I don't know how this whole idea of putting money before people and then having them on camera and then calling them corrupt came into the whole picture. So this thing that Anas did some few years ago, I've given you the history where it started from. A woman did it somewhere in 1887. And Anas later also learned from that blueprint and executed a perfect undercover work. Absent giving money to people and then having them on camera and then calling them corrupt, for me, I would have called him a legend in the business. But this methodology of trapping people, that for me is not journalism. That is wickedness. I used to believe in his skill and his style. You know, way back when I was a network herald with Marco Zumelo, he was a crusading guide. I used to respect his work a lot. Until one day, and Kwekwana narrated that story last time on CTV. When we were going to do a documentary, and Kwekwana had announced to the world that those who want to participate or want to sponsor should come forward. That was the time a young guy by the name Kwatin called that his uncle wanted to also sponsor. Therefore, myself and Kweku went to Afrikiko. At the time, I was in a car. Was Kwatin and Kwekwana and another young man were, talking about the said documentary. That was the time that they gave Kweku money. The money was, our uncle said, take this for water, something, and Kweku said, thank you. They met about 2 or 3 occasions, and Kweku apparently, or at the time, had given the budget that we were going to need for the documentary. The next minute, or within some few days, a journalist called Kweku to tell Kweku that you met the wrong people, and that those guys that you met were analysis guys. Really? Some few days later, the video hit online. Kwekwana has taken bribe. That was the day I lost respect for Anas Armenia Anas. That was the day. I was so shocked and surprised that, is that the kind of style? Is that what you do? And remember, at the time, Kwekwana was also undercover. No one knew his face. But that video revealed Kwekwana's identity. Kweku had to go through a lot of threats, attacks. No one spoke about this in Ghana. No one talked about it. Because Kwekwana no genuine. One threat. If you say, I was actually no be so. That's the reality. If you say, no. And let me tell you this: every human being under the sun is potentially corrupt when weakness is found. And let me give you examples. Work of corruption is not just about bribery. Another one, embezzlement or a corrupt act. When you are cash office be Nesikano edini left right one na wuti na baby edu room. Another one, nepotism or a type of corruption. If you are the sika to on fada and also on say dream sika nemo family and friends on kwan they be obey with dream mo. Into a dream all that you need to do is to know one name per of one of them. Young dine pe nanyin, you will know the rest. Young dine ra company nyimpa kuni dine ejila obi I wonder if ejil this ejil that are a type of corruption. Cronism, favoring friends. Nyankofo na nkofo bi efi do some class. If favor them nkofo nia no are a type of corruption. Extortion, ejisika for favors. Now I had no crown fraud na didn't put them in be, but my member ke anoya me dapa. Abuse of power. What kind of abuse of power? Anger, ebufu can even be an abuse of power. For two, I don't often ebufu about my abuse of power, and I knew. Cannot some dream. Hey, no, so into piano. You are abusing that office or a type of corruption, and then you will be a while. I want now. They be now yabi. Minimum suffer 1, 2, 3 beer. One videos. It be same one videos. what bad screen do one yabi. And Kweku knows what I'm talking about. And we have to destroy these things. Because tennis will be image no yet. And these are people now that must offer even a politician when you want to share, when you want to die, you want you. And we have to stop some of the. Do you know some of the things that you will be me? Video so. Kwatapa na di original do. And you see some of these people come on screen and talk as if the world belongs to them. What can us nasama as if down on your bone and put a biabeka? What are you talking about? Want to know where you are, Sabakacha, no potentially corrupt? Aswafu. I can yamina somewhere so deep. I trampela. Elbow game. Sebio, man who crime do. And if you be no more, why did you dinner? Where a tresam? In me, Mako Agana ha. But all these things in Yano. You move me so much, yes, shown, nay, I say no, because Yimpa, Nenum, one say no. But one of the one friend you done, one trap or done. Ghana, professor, be first, or top bananas needing all the time. Tell me what trapping, no. No, the hair, I did not know. It is in BB Padibi Kerry, if you're not corrupt, how can you fall a victim to a corrupt? What are you talking about? Weakness, no, I know I'm a corrupt. And any you put this in weakness. Every human being is potentially, corrupt when weakness is found. For two team. Abuse of power, no. In time, me spend the time on it. If you are short skater, or pedo on any da, a pill and pull, or so any dance on your drama, Nina abuse of office. One can say it's corruption on yes, into being your she out on office. Entrapment, baby, or what made you to undercover work. Today, who there, my friend there, will be passport office, me for 1 year than for one French. No, with bribe, also I could also apply. I can also twist a car. It's a bribe. No more with man adapt. That one, no, you are trying to bring an evil act out. Me, shut down your problem. Obia, or say baby, a debian, be self, from no one into once you are a small girl, once you go there, no, who nice or short can go to us on your bed and son one more. That one, no. And this small girl you call no trap him and watch now. You have brought an evil person out. It's different from no beauty baby on your she. It is Adam be say kwase kwesi antechi. Sika ben na we do GFO. Apart from sika wa anas edeto. First na me sana so e nedwa no. Na mu to chairman. Na me respecting. Because no easy. But all of a sudden no be it the baby na the sika akoto na ni. Oje yes or corrupt. Magana ai. So much for that methodology. Now I am the suspects. How did this guy called Amache or Daniel Quanton, how did he become a suspect? Me be the video me da show. For this video te asema ken okay. Ya baba ka ya better say.
It's unfortunate Ghanaians are behaving the way they are behaving. When you do that, you distract the police or the security agencies from even doing the investigation. How can you tell me that a statement that I made about 8 months ago, that if the guy, they told me that, oh, you've even paid the school fees in 2012. Well, I don't know him. So he has been coming here, and I said, no way. Don't allow the guy to come here because he's bad. If he comes to this premises, you beat him. That you allow him. I have a video that, it's so nasty that I can't show it. I mean, women, their private part, he set a doctor up and did all these things. So if you allow the guy to come to my premises and set me up. So I said, no way, don't allow the guy to go. When he steps here, beat the hell out of him.
But in that particular video, we also hear you say, Mushian will be to wait. If you meet him anywhere.
Madam, you see, I want to cool down. Okay. Have you listened to the tape?
Yeah, you said Mushian will be Obama premises. Ha.
Good. This is about my premises. I mean,
So then baby refers to anywhere within your premises.
Yeah, my premises, baby. Yeah, beat the hell out of him.
Okay, so what about those who say putting his face and his name and where he lives could be vital information for those who may want to hurt him? And so, in other words, you are complicit.
You see, the way you are talking as if, say, he's better than judges who have stroke now. He's better than those who have died. I wanted Ghanaians to know who is behind Anas and doing those criminal activities. And it was necessary to bring his name, to show his face, for people to see. Because when the guy is walking, you wouldn't even know that this is the guy coming to set you up. You might run your mouth, he will record you, go and disgrace you. It was necessary for me to bring the guy's picture out for people to see who he is. Okay? But you see, the problem I have is that now, if Anas is saying, or his lawyer is saying I should be picked, they should pick Anas and his lawyer first.
Why?
Why? Because why is it that Anas jumps into conclusion within 3 minutes I hear of the guy's death, he makes a video and put it out there and put my voice and picture that I am involved. He's diverting attention. My investigation, the guy is going to the police right now.
Which guy?
I have a guy, you hear his name. The guy said, I don't know if now he has sent the date. I wanted the date. This guy who is dead sent a message to the guy going to the police that he's falling out with Anas and his group because they suspect him to have said something or done something. But this gentleman going to the police said he didn't trust the Ahmed. He thought he was going to set him up. So he didn't respond for them to know where he is. Lord and behold, my sister, this morning I was on my way to the bank and somebody called me that the guy said one Hamizu has threatened to put bullet in his head, like the way Ahmed died. And this guy is Anas's head boy. And he said when this guy was talking to him, Anas's driver was there. So this evidence piece, I'm piecing them together. There's a clear indication that Anas should be picked. They should ask him questions.
But are you willing to avail yourself?
No problem at all. But before you do that, pick Anas. If you don't pick Anas because he's go and put it in social media and you come and I won't talk to you.
In hindsight, do you wish that you hadn't made those statements?
No, not at all. I still maintain that. And the evil that men do lives after them.
Now you realize in the video, no, Ken Kede, the guy is going to police station. The guy is going to police station. That guy, no, yeah, match guy, no. Obia, waba out. Waba report today. Anas and Uncle for Pedaway the one. CCI was should be now hang now. There why you was another suspect. Well, for me, police for the way on Ejuma, intimintum, minim evidence, Wokita, and one Yamu Wokita, and I'm doing work at them. But me yet when I saw me charge sheet in a damn that he was at the crime scene at the time of the murder and the down. Of which the guy is also saying he doesn't even remember and the down. If they're able to prove beyond reasonable doubt there, and the hallelujah, Biala, I watch the sound with you. Now, if you cannot prove beyond the reasonable doubter, then police don't suspect one of them or the more one. Then a quarantine. So let's try and make sense out of this. Yanti the margin I say kakra. Kennedy Japan no also really see picture no. Ina picture no really see no. Anam doma yenua radin fani can see MS Rally wedding. We need fee as I see do. On grounds of law no, it makes sense. Because match there oye abenten lawyer no okay bibi there. Pictures ni enough and other bibi them. Until there like and yet Kennedy don't take padding pictures back out first because guy no Facebook account. I feel you know there was a documentary of another guy no the guy and any image was public there. But the question is who identified Oye Ahmed no Oye Kennedy no identify the Akwan day no friend into on that particular day or one day so I could only Kennedy one no twa and brand botu in atri. However was there quarantine so no go for na any team so to establish there no that pictures will not be enough to convert this guy there. I know you do, because we saw us establish grounds. The pictures no, by a party, no, the man Kennedy. And again, no, that video so Kennedy is about to catch all day. Made it to a man can't watch the one. Miss watching now, one broom on my premises, and he's defending himself. Because be a tumba, me chamu, si can I say, but to me video at the car. I met you out, Mamma so to my mail. Them they defend more. Introducible to account from a lot of angles, even though they have a point by saying the or the pictures but two. But no so to can you they defend no. But a match no, me won't come off for a establish if there's an evidence to that there. What out the pardon or the pictures in the Kennedy, that is a different thing altogether. Because me say a top politician man teenage, but if there's an evidence to that, that is a whole different ball game. Mama can say. However, Kwekwanan released a chat between the late Ahmed and then offended Quantum, and in that very chat, no, I didn't buy there and now Snankasano official one way do one bun. Share this video.
You and I worked and became very close friends. Not a single, I don't know how some conversation died. I have ever engaged in either in partnership with you or with anybody. Young Koso say, I heard you had 4 cars. Me as a friend. Ha ha ha. Did you ever told me you had 4 cars? All this shall pass someday. After Betos say, oh, but that one, you know, before you left, I heard a lot about you. I heard a lot about you. I told you about them, and you and I know how these stories are funny. Me, Ahmed, with 4 cars. I feel about it. Amache say 4 cars no wasem no. Or say, don't make me laugh. Take it from me. If anyone came to say that to you, laugh, and don't ever take the person. Friends, and or better as well. So, or say me as a friend. If you say, did you ever told me you had 4 cars? The same conversation. Twice bedroom. Or say, don't make me laugh. If you say, take it from me. If anyone came to say that to you, laugh, and don't ever take the person serious again. Even common food I struggle to get to eat with my family. How much more fuel for 4 cars? Hey, Amache, are you too smart for this rubbish? Ahmed Neka say. Nature say Ahmed ni peso chire Abranti say sika kro de beta aduane edi ne kra no ehwan den ayedi ama no. Ewranom. Ensem egu ono me say me di akira enne de be pie munye huye. But you see, in the coming days, and now you say, yeah, but he accused me too. He accused me too. Why not more refer to? That could be better. Now I say, Amache, a lot has happened. You won't believe it if I to tell you. Or say, a froster like him. Why not more refer to? A froster like him. Why not a kasa same way? Ahmed Nana Kasasime. Now, why Nana Ahmed or refer to? One day, Mobetiasia. Or say, but then me, I am just quiet. What has happened? And Anas went for him. Or say, when I now if you muntia, or say, when I begin to talk, Ghana would have shaken. What or say, so no or kasa Ghana be woso. Edi no wakasa bone be na na akoso a wo mu na animu a wo mu nim se okasa Ghana be wo so when na no wakasa Ahmed Swale kasa. Now I'll tell you say Amache, all of them wo mu na they are all holding what? Grenades. Now I say, but I just don't want to bother. I want to keep quiet and rest before deciding my next line of action. But you know, I know what he been doing. Yet he accused me. No, this year. My meme can last paper. I say, and or twice I say, stupid boy, quating. Omu di abranti biatem. Sa quating way. Onoso ye anas akwala or ye dmo. Now I say, and people you never thought has the guts can just accuse you. I nearly wrote and attacked them yesterday on my Facebook, but some of my cousins, Tio, Ahmed Swali, no, Kasei, or say I nearly wrote and attacked them yesterday on my Facebook, but some of my cousins insisted I shouldn't, and that I should maintain low profile for the meantime. I swear Allah, Amache, if I to talk, as for Ken, one would be small. What say? Or say, I nearly wrote and attacked them. I need to emphasize our conversation with. Or say on my Facebook, but some of my cousins insisted I shouldn't, and that I should maintain low profile for the meantime. I swear Allah, Amache, if I to talk, as for Ken, one would be small, but my family restrained me yesterday. Ahana Ahmed Peso Chere Amache said, so no bien anosu okasa. Kennedy Japan, who watches the Watchman or DPN and a bayan emunkwala. Among the circles of Tagai, and now this one in Ukraine, Ghana for. But ni now, when Yankopon Basayad Moboni, we are so born account, ni Bonia or dear Dinipa, Nina BP, and I'm quem. Midi will not say, but it is life you sacrifice and hot nothing but wrongly treatment. Got nothing. Anyway, let's talk later, but feel free to call me anytime from now, please. No, say, and people you never thought has the guts can just accuse you. I nearly wrote the same, in common question. Sa baby sees or say, but it's life you sacrifice and hot nothing but wrongly treatment. Got nothing. Anyway, let's talk later, but feel free to call me anytime from now. I'm always free to call you. This is a conversation between Amache, anyone, Ahmed, and let me tell you, I have dozens of this.
Say who? So just as I will another be both to Kennedy both to a suspect, the man and us also a suspect. Because this is also an evidence. But people are what makes you think that you feel Ahmed ni phone and no phone phone and that's ni investigations about to why again. Time and I stand to be corrected on this particular point. I really stand to be corrected on this particular point I'm about to make. When Ahmed Raleigh, died, another when he was killed, sources is 10 something, into by 11 something to 12 something, and a footage, another video by outer Kennedy, new video by out, and this video is said that and also really see at the man for the one tea as my Kennedy came. No one share at that why at that particular moment to be actually diverted attention. I divert attention for Anas to have done that. No, let's look at this thing. One, our pediatric will be released with benefit pictures, and because of that, no, and I'm doing work in Pano. What is the guarantee there at the time now? Hate guys no hate padino. Now hate guys one son can't buy information that. If that can be established, then that picture still on Yejuma. Again, if the hate guys now were hate Ahmed no, they had nothing to do with Kennedy in the pictures we really see and not be them. But rather our announced video that the court to divert attention from them. The court of public opinion but you to there Kennedy in a way there. What do you think you've done to the justice system? As also cause panic. That is the thing. Of course panic. So Anas must be invited by the police, and I don't know why they are not inviting him. No one is above the law in this country. That is one thing you're supposed to understand. In whom what this is saying, if you are minimum IGP, minimum president, minimum minister, my boss smoke crucible, won't kun, one year massa, if you ask now one. Yankopon, Obo Impamban, now see Impamufio. Say a guilty, and you're guilty, there's no need to send a tax on the 1 year. The minimum are useless for Subia in home. Or Impanon Kona Yakano. I will release the video. I divert attention. If the real class Nankasana would do Bonono, war, I mentioned two sides. Into one, you find the Anas no di don born no. Me say Kennedy na always see pictures ma killers who to identify why omoye. Ena again no I was so footage na release no so no. Why divert attention? Why brand no so biana the pictures not about had nothing to do with the killing of the guy. What do you think you've done to the justice system? It was so we invite you. I dream Ben Oba with him. Now I then release that very video. Now for the video I'm come police. The master man wa brand ways no. Obi ani ye mbeden obehye ne kakra. Video e ba behwe according to a lady Ose na ameswale at the time of the murder no na wa resign if Tiger Eye. Me was also say call a window a wimper dam.
So by the time Ameswale died, he was not a member of Tiger Eye PI.
No, he was not.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, he said it here. He was not. He said, I have resigned. I don't want to have anything to do with them. But you too be mindful, because anyone who is leaking videos that could not have been leaked after you left is trying to implicate you. And today, we are all here because Daniel Owusu-Kranton is accused of leaking pictures.
To your knowledge, or to Daniel Owusu-Kranton's knowledge, did Ahmed Swale fall out with Anas Arimi or Anas?
Well, it would appear so, because from the narratives or from the text messages, he had a lot of complaints about him. He had even said in one of the text messages that if he were to talk, what Ken did was small.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, he even went ahead and said that you do all these efforts and you are not appreciated. So he had some...
And you have these text messages?
Oh, yes, I have.
You can share... Oh, you have to look at me. You can share with some of us? You can share it with the media?
Yes, I can share it. I can
of
share
Ahmed
it.
Swale talking?
Yes, I have Daniel Owusu-Kranton's full permission to share everything.
Okay.
So the police must invite Anas Arimi Anas there. Come and assist in investigation. So again, I ask, on what basis now Kranton, our friend, the party, our friend, Daniel Kranton, Amache, what a chen? On what basis? Because so a chen because he was in the vicinity, in any problem. A chen because I know the pictures, no, but the man will be Imokuna, any problem. All these are beautiful grounds. Again, no, can you establish on grounds of law the ampa abenton the pictures na? Can you also establish on grounds of law there ampa killers na wachibi my killers no wa confess there picture na Kennedy man and now do yokoku Ahmed, and on what basis no they kede party no head no? That is a question no so all, which is also different from you saying that Kennedy pictures not the bear na. Again, Anas na nkasa so only see them videos no, but diverted attention cause panic. Because it's a savior Kennedy Mpuno ahead on banana. Them video no really see no. I Kennedy na good thing. You be no take a hit no. International so back and dead. But in this case no, Kennedy has not been drawn to anything. Has not been connected to anything. We release the video addition because I no really see. Now also so release video of which you don't have any strong evidence to say that Kennedy Japan was involved. No, you don't have any strong evidence to say that. No, now I release the video. No, that's a reckless. What do you think you've done to Kennedy? You've done to the justice system, and you've done to your followers. What do you think you've done to this Daniel Kranton guy? I'm only asking. Look at the evidence wall, please, Ghana, please. Look at the evidence wall. Because we're in Panamka. Ahana and the Midi Medina BC. Asana Mokonmenka the Massims on French MPP for. No one, there's no market for the complaints of the NPP. There is market for reset there one year you may. If you don't want to reset, upgrade and then take all the old batteries away. But Chevy no could do a party mono on one cry. So understand that there is no market. There is no single market that is interested in knowing the problems of the NPP. We all have our problems, I mean, all by ourselves. So solve your problems internally and come back stronger. The master no man pay my hammer so I had the mabana bad because I miss some my can't nurses now a teacher's one allowance now what do obutu and if you put it Obama control it you know. In fact I salute the president for that. Nemum ne Richard Japama na I be phone na didn't so nedjuma warrior and mestre pa mama on my president in image rough off. And we burn here, no, actually, ya did change should be what's we jano. No, we hear no, be like the way 1 year and Yamo no quando. 1 year Yamo no quando. When you need one no quando. But the idea that they cast the weapons now, I do what you to. I see the impano or as a rebel leader, and I mean, let's do things in a very civilized manner. Never president, no, in number, no year. Ghana, I am now in India. I hand them the BBRBC. You may don't know if I call your hawk investigations on Wako. My hawk for catch on a day. And probably you should more undercover and investigative work on yet entrapment in Dinibia. BB Nepro Shushimo Freon was 020-228-3252. The mouse on a Wako so snow war fraud there. Selisa Dan Nepan here. Another a BB war and here home, another than here ye BB. And here whom I hear. I hear them you do and what this done. What do you wrote? And here papa abroad another gun in a business be wa hana pede AC bibia and here papa pano wako for the bomb from also 050 0505 714871 0505 714871 from one no about your come on missing the Enoch Egyir assembly amike bia no I am adwena meche osu tum kira wadwen obi antena obi a. The fact that Edo be no that so me do a mistake and so that work. The problem with us as Ghanaians no yemu bi no there. Me yehu na ma yet no. Very difficult. Why there obi abo na wa baka cha there. Di dem sike. Eji sika ni wie no. Ade ma wo no. Wa dwini a wo sika ndo na elekan sika no. Na so you facilitate the process. Okay, don't worry. Me one obiale nim adon am do me dem sika dem yimpa no na etwa da bottle but to say unda sika be kita yimpa ni sem na akoma na adwini a wo sika no do it at that moment to question and statement be make after no one yes smart unda about question e be some what do you know by me facilitate process and fast into other you say oh okay na adwen there e ko don't worry na sika no pi baba dam na bia na adwen be later on about some bo hu no bo sana dey na e paaka. So once again, I don't hate Anas and Remeyana. No. I respect what he used to do. I'm saying what he used to do, because now it's more or less like you put money there, someone takes it, and the person the next minute is corrupt. That method, a method no minjintu. Inti yenshe inyameyi. Nyami show bi obom ichi dom yakofi ansa. Nyami ko bibi amo. Ichi bibi aso. Kwadom the Hawk TV. Subscribe. Nashe for movie. In your church. Bye bye.